Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Jay.
guys. So tonight we're going to talk about the top 10 family health solutions. So I sent out this handout already. If you don't have it, just let us know. We have it on Essential Oil carbon copy, essentialoil.cc. That's the website. And so you can find it there. Otherwise, just contact us and we can give you a copy. But it's kind of nice to help people understand the basics. So I'm going to assume that everybody knows the basics of essential oils, but we're going to run through it really, really quickly. Can we pull up the first family wellness class too, honey?
Okay.
Yeah. So just a really quick overview for people who are very new to essential oils. We are going to talk about the doTERRA essential oils, the one that is certified pure therapeutic grade. So Ben's going to pull up right now just the basic class that we teach, and then we'll go into the details. Okay.
So, okay, I hope everybody can see that all right. Okay.
Alrighty. So here, the essential oils are basically the immunity or the defense mechanism of plants. All right. So every plant has a lot of ability to fight, germs and things, and to protect itself. When we have just the oils, it's actually very, very potent and concentrated form of the plant. So we say that it's about 70 times more powerful than herbs. Okay, so that's that. Another way of looking at it is one drop, 45 lemons will make 1 bottle of 15 ml lemon oil. Okay, so the oil in the rind of lemon. Alrighty. So the oils that we're using, I was mentioning earlier that it's certified pure therapeutic grade, and that's a standard that we really can trust. It's gone through a lot of testing, and you can see there's a lot of testing. I don't want to necessarily go through all of that, but you can see that it's just very rigid the way they test it, and they're very careful. So the oils that you have is not only pure, but it's also therapeutic, right? So there's 3 ways we use the oils. It's very simple, and we'll go through these 3 ways several times when we're going through the top 10 health solutions. But the first way is just aromatic. So smelling it, getting into our brains, getting into our lungs, opening our airways. So that's the first way. The second way is just putting it onto our skin, so you can massage it on, and you can put it on where you hurt or where you need the oils, okay? And the third way is just to use the oils internally, and this is quite unfamiliar for people, and sometimes people are told different, and which is absolutely perfect, because there are a lot of oils out there that have low grades or synthetics that we shouldn't ingest. So do not ingest any of the oils unless they're certified pure and they're therapeutic grade oils. And there's some oils that are not, even though they're certified, they're not for ingesting. So we'll let you know which ones you can. So but basically the rule of thumb is if it sounds like a food, you can ingest them. So lemon, cinnamon, all those are food. Easy? Yep. Okay, there's some oils that are hot, and you can tell, on the bottle, it'll tell you. And when you have these hot oils, you need to dilute them. If you're putting it straight on your skin, sometimes if you're taking it internally, it depends on the person. They may not want to dilute it. That's fine. But when it comes to children or people with sensitive skin, we can dilute it with a fractionated coconut oil or an unscented lotion, like the one you can see on the screen. Alrighty, so that's just the basics, and we're going to go to the different oils now. So if we could, have a look at the top 10. Alrighty, so I have all the oils actually in our bag here. So can you see that there? So we'll look at number 1. So one of the, it's behind us, honey. So one of the biggest problems, like I heard that they say about 60% of people that come into the hospital, they have some sort of stomach concerns, right? And so that's number one for us. And so to support the gut, we have a few oils. So the first oil is digestin. Are you all familiar with that? Christy, yep. Okay. So there's different names for the different gut problems, but basically this helps with the, cleansing the gut, helping with the inflammation, and helping clean it up. Okay, helping things flow. So anybody have any experience with digestin?
Yeah, just I'm slightly gluten intolerant, so if I eat pasta, I might feel a bit bloated, so I don't have it very often. But I put a drop of digestin into a bottle of water if I'm just going out, and have a little bit of that after a meal, and it makes my stomach feel comfortable.
Perfect. Yeah.
And the Terrazyme is very good as well after dinner.
Yeah.
And when you take these things, you tend to be more aware of what you're eating, so you don't tend to eat so much. And if you're looking at something that's processed carbohydrate, you can just say, well, I'll just have one bite of that without having a whole lot of it. So
yeah, you don't have to pay for it later.
You can deprive yourself, but at the same time, I think you start to monitor your tendency to overeat once you start to have things like digestion.
Mm-hmm. So I agree with you, Jennifer. Sometimes you feel like I don't want to hurt later on, so I'm not going to do it. But you get to the point where your body's really cleansed and your body can tolerate more, and you don't have to be so rigid and strict. You can just actually have a little bit, enjoy it, but then you'll just feel like that's satisfying enough, and you won't overindulge. So
yeah.
Lemon oil is very, very gentle. So anybody with tummy concerns, put a drop or two of lemon oil in your glass water bottle, and drink that. You know why it's important to use glass?
Yes, I do.
Yep. How about you guys? Christy?
Yes.
Yep. Good. So for other audience members that are not here, sometimes if we put oils in plastic, for example, it breaks down the plastic, so you don't want to ingest it. Okay, so glass is the best.
Even water in plastic isn't such a good idea.
So have you all experienced digest tabs?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's like, honey, you want to say?
I will sample one for you.
It's like calcium tablets, but
Yeah.
with the
But it's got a
digestin
bit
oil in it.
digestin. Yep. So it feels the difference between maybe something like this and that maybe the digestin soft gels. Those are just the oil. This one feels like it more coats your stomach. So if you have antacid or if you've eaten something that you shouldn't, one of these would.
Yep.
Yeah. But Terrazyme, that's different, isn't it?
Yep, Terrazyme is different. So the digestin comes in a soft gel. So if you want to just ingest it quickly, you can take a couple of those. Call it in Australia barley belly. It's when you travel and you have the barley belly. It's very good for food poisoning and things like that. Okay, so
the digest tab. Okay. I haven't used that one.
Yeah.
When you travel, you just take it every day.
Yeah. So you've got the digestin oil, the digestin soft gel, the digest tab.
Yep. This one. Yeah. So there's a variety of different ways that you can take them internally. Some people would just rub the oils on. Okay. I've had a friend, she just needs to put a drop on her belly button and she says she goes. So she can go number 2 easily. And I thought, oh, that's good to know.
I put some in a roller bottle. Digestion.
Yeah.
With oil, and I rubbed it on my stomach, and I felt like it worked.
Yeah.
Unless it's in my head.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. So my children, when they eat too much candy during Halloween, and
that's the only time of year they really get
that's
candy.
what. I when they're in bed, I throw out. But it's just really good to roll it on, just like you do, and they can take care of it themselves. Sometimes it doesn't taste as good because it has that cinnamon and that ginger, and the kids think it's a bit too strong. my kids are used to it now, but when they first started, it was like, ooh, that's kind of yucky. But you know, a lot of us like ginger, so it's fine.
Yeah, I like
for
it
us.
too.
Yeah. So that's the gut. You know, if people have a lot of the gut problems, you can actually take these daily, okay, and that'll really help. The next thing is head and neck tension. It's a compliant way of saying it.
If you have a headache.
Yep. So there's different headaches. When you guys have headaches, are you able to kind of identify what that headache is?
Difficult time kind of like pinpointing it.
Yeah, it's kind of challenging when you're not used to it. So when you first start, you're like, my head hurts, I just hurt. So, you know,
But like sometimes I'll get a headache if I don't drink enough water.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll get a headache just because I'm thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking.
Okay.
And thinking. Sorry. It's like that.
Yeah,
thinking.
That's true. So for the thinking and thinking, you might want to just calm down and unwind. So lavender and frankincense is the oil for you. So you kind of have to think about it for a moment and say, how did I get it? And
I also
do some elimination.
I also like the deep blue and frankincense.
Yep. So the first one there is past tense. And that's a lot of us when our neck hurts and our shoulders hurt, we can rub the past tense on topically. So that's what we're talking about in the basic part of this class here, just rubbing the oils on topically. It helps soften the muscles, and then sometimes that does the trick, okay? Other times I've got Ben saying that you can have a dehydrated headache. So what you could do is drink lots of water with peppermint and lemon, just 1 drop of each, because the peppermint and lemon helps the oil, helps the water get more absorbable in your body, so it absorbs easily. Now, say that you're really dehydrated, you can actually get pure coconut water, because it has a lot of electrolytes, and then add peppermint and lemon in that. Okay, did you know that?
No.
That's really, really good. It's bad when, even though you drink water, sometimes you still can have a dehydrated headache. It's because sometimes we eat a lot of sweet foods or salty foods, and the headache comes from, the brain's shrinking away from the skull, and, it hurts. So if you think about what you've eaten, just a quick, going back and eliminating the possibilities. And if it's that, just start drinking lots of water, and that'll be really good. Okay. If you are just kind of sluggish, frankincense and peppermint can help you wake up a little bit and help with that. So sometimes just rubbing it above your ears, this is not your temple is further back here a little bit, okay, behind, above the ear, where the tippy tip of the ear is, there's a little, what do we call it? Vein. You can just feel it there. You can put it right there, so it can just start going into the bloodstream, and that's good, because if you do it right here where you smile, those lines, the oils can just come and get into your eyes and give you some pain.
Yeah. Especially bad if you're driving on the highway.
Yeah, that's what Ben did one time. He's peppermint, and then he's like, I'm blind.
Not safe.
No. The other headache that we often have, and lucky Ben doesn't experience it, but it's the hormonal headache. So
I experience it on the receiving end.
Yeah, that's true. So think about it, if it's almost that time of the month or around, during that time, sometimes that headache is just the hormonal imbalance. It's just a shift and a change of hormones, and it may cause that headache too. That's just how it is. We had a lady say to me, "Oh my gosh, I've tried every oil, my headache is still here." And for me, I'm like so baffled. And then it occurred to me, and I said, "Hey, is it almost that time?" And she's like, "Yes." And I thought, okay, just try this oil on, and amazing. She's like, "Oh, think, Yeah, so you can rub it on your ab and rub it on your wrist, smell it. Some people rub it on the back of their ears, on the bones. However you do it, just do it intuitively and it should help you. And just remember to do it for a couple of days because that's a whole, phase.
I find it very helpful. Rub it on your girlfriend or
Or your daughter.
Your daughter.
Yeah, our teenage
when
daughter.
she's becomes a little less logical.
Yeah.
I won't say anything else.
So have any of you experienced the Claricam before?
I don't have that one.
Yeah, it's awesome for cramps, for hot flashes as well. Some people have headaches from menopausal concerns. Yeah. Ready to go on to the next one? Yep. So number 3. Okay. So it's muscles and joints. So have you guys experienced the deep blue rub?
Yes.
Yep. It's awesome. And we have the deep blue oil, of course. And there's the deep blue polyphenol complex. So have you had experience with the polyphenol?
No.
Okay, it's like herbs. This one. There we go.
So it's not the deep blue essential
Not
oil.
the oil that you're taking internally.
It's just branded the same.
Yeah.
They're herbs that have
Yep.
polyphenols in them.
Yeah.
If you have lots of aches and pains internally, this is a good solution.
And if
for
it's
that.
a consistent daily thing, you can take it daily too because it just herbs. So it's good. Okay. So yes. The other oil here is Aroma Touch. So I usually tell people Aroma Touch and Deep Blue, they're a fantastic duo. Aroma Touch is your warming oil and Deep Blue is your cooling oil. So hot and cold pack. So think hot and cold and just layer it on one on top of the other. It doesn't matter which one goes on first. Okay, when you're putting oils on, it gets just driven in. And if you put a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, it stays on the surface longer. So if your pain is on the surface, what do? You put a little bit of the coconut oil to keep it there longer, that's all. But if it's deeper, go ahead and put a cold, wet towel on top to drive it in even more. Okay, so that's how you use it and maximize it. And the other one is sometimes when you've got a certain ache and pain and you're thinking, okay, this Deep Blue and Aroma Touch used to work, but this is something different and it's not doing the job. So try other tree oils. Okay, so if that knee hurts, if you've got a grandma that says, yeah, it's okay, it hasn't done the work that it needs to do, then try other oils. So can you name some tree oils in doTERRA?
Wintergreen,
Wintergreen,
white fir,
cypress. Right. So those are fantastic oils. Sometimes just use a combination of them. So one on top of the other. One time I just had this impression and I told this lady because she says her knee's so bad. And during the class, I thought, I'll just, I'll help you now right here. And so we stopped and I said, here's some wintergreen, put it on. Here's some cypress, here's some white fir. And ever since then, anybody that has any knee problems, that lady, she would get that combination. And she's like, you have to do this. And I thought, well, we have Deep Blue. Another one's, but she insists that that's the one, but it just happened to be the one for her that day. And it really helped relieve that, But anyways, so we're going to move on to number 4, okay? So number 4 is immunity. So what do you guys do at home for immunity?
on guard.
Yeah.
Yep.
I run that daily at work.
Do you? Where do
And
you work?
Synchrony Financial.
Uh-huh.
It used to be GE Capital.
Yep.
I'm a bill collector.
But you do that so that you strengthen your immunity, you don't catch stuff from people that walk in, right?
Yeah, there's like about 1,000 people in my office and they're all germy.
Uh-huh. That's cool. And do you feel like there's a difference?
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. So I felt the same way because I would clean the desk of my students in my classroom, and I felt like my students were less sick than other classes. So I don't know. It's awesome. They've done a few studies on that too. On Guard is so powerful. But if you want to add Melissa, Abavite, Melaleuca onto that, that's just amazing. Big, powerful. We have the On Guard Plus. Are you familiar with that?
Is that like the soft gels?
Yes, On Guard Plus. So it has Melissa and black pepper.
I don't know if I have those.
Yeah.
I'm just starting out, so I have like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
On
okay.
the wish list, hey, Krista.
Yeah.
My wish list is like never ending.
Tell me about it. That's like 6 months of shopping for me when I first started.
Oh my gosh, I'm like I can't anymore right now.
Oh, I have to stop right here, but that goes on to next month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's On Guard Plus, it's Melissa and the black pepper, and those are very strong against viruses. So it's really good. Take about 2 if you are trying to overcome something. Okay, and then just do it a few times a day. So spread it out, but be consistent. Don't just do one and then the next day do another one. It's not going to be as effective. Yep. So be consistent, and you'll find that within about 48 hours, you feel a lot better. So those are the oils. If it's like a topical concern, immunity concern, then you can just rub it on the bottom of your feet and put it in a roller bottle. That's really, really good that way too. So I really like Lisa. Yes.
Would you consider frankincense a good one on that list, or is that more for ongoing
Add it
things?
to that list, but this is just the top ones. I would put thyme and oregano too, but those are very hot oils for a lot of people, and so but I would, if I could have more room, I'll put those 2 oils in too. Frankincense is just a jack of all trades. It does it, but I feel like these oils are more concentrated for this job.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. So we'll move on to cuts, burns, bumps, bruises, and bites.
I did want to comment about the immunity. The immunity blend that you had posted previously, I made up that rollerball blend, and I could totally tell the difference between using it on the kids and not using it on the kids, because they were good, and then after I stopped using it, they instantly started getting colds. So I could tell the difference between using that and not using it.
Yep, it's my trusted blend. When I got that blend from, I think, Dr. Sue, I've used it ever since. And, this October, the October that passed, it marked 6 years that we haven't taken our kids to the doctors. So, they've just been healthy. Not that we're against doctors.
We haven't had any reason to take them to the doctors.
We haven't had anything major to take them to the doctors for. That's all. And it's, every year we're like, oh, we haven't gone to the doctors. And, oh, again, just a little this and that, and rubbing oils on a little bit and see how we go for a day or 2. And then, our daughter, one of our daughters the other day, she was sick for 2 hours. And I thought, oh, that's it.
Yeah, and we have friends that they're sick like for days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So massaging her, putting oils on her, drinking oils. And then after a few minutes, she's like, what's that smell? That smells good. I want to have some, and then, she's up and she's eating and she's fine. It's just, we feel very spoiled and we're so used to it now. So if it lasts longer than a day or so, we're thinking, we're not giving it enough attention here. Yeah. So it's great. When your immunity is high, even if our kids catch anything, it's so mild that we hardly feel it or see it. I remembered last year when I was substituting at the school for just a day because the teacher was going away, and I love substituting because I get to see my kids, and I was looking around and there were kids just coughing up their lungs, And here are my kids. I have the twins in the same class. I'm just looking at them and they're just oblivious and, coloring and drawing and writing without, a sniffle or a cough. And I thought, oh boy, I am so grateful. It's just such a nice feeling, right? So that's good. That's on guard. That's the immunity. I feel like that's one of the important things that families should get down. And the next thing is cuts, burns, bumps and bruises and bites. Now, are you familiar with helichrysum?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah,
Share?
I had a big injury on my, I got whacked on the forehead by a car door. It was my own fault. I was stressed out at the time. And it was bleeding. I was very, very sore. And I just put helichrysum on it. And even when the bone was still tender, the scar had healed up in a couple of days. I couldn't believe it. And all my wrinkles disappeared.
And look at me.
No, it was amazing how it healed up that wound really quickly.
That's awesome. So that's what we love about helichrysum. It's our emergency oil. Everybody should have, if you have points, redeem your points for a bottle of helichrysum. My sister, she's, she's got 2 little kids and she's very careful with her supply. She always keeps an extra 1 or 2 in the cupboard unopened, along with the one that's already open, just in case. And so my relatives, after a couple of years of me being in doTERRA, I mean, most of them are using oils now. There's a whole bunch of us in Sydney. And sometimes if they are out, they'll call each other and they'll, get it from each other and then they'll replace it in their next order. But, our whole clan, and we have a nickname for it. It's called the 4 Down oil. So the very first time they experienced it was with one of my cousin, niece, whatever we call her. It's just my niece. So I think she, babies have big heads and they fall, and then, she had a big bump on her head, and I'm like, Mom, grab the helichrysum, and she's like, what do I do? And I said, rub it on, and so rubbed it on right away. And by evening, we were arguing over which side was it on again. I can't see it anymore. Oh my gosh, it's gone. And so at that time onwards, everyone's like, oh, you got to have one of these bottles at home, and and just people use it that way. My mum, she just puts it right on whenever she accidentally cuts herself in the kitchen, or my brother-in-law, he plays basketball, and one time he went down very hard on his ankle and it kind of shattered the bones, and we were gone, and he asked his wife which oils, and of course he went to the supplies and he got the helichrysum, and he used up more than a bottle of helichrysum that weekend. And when we got back, took him to the doctors, they couldn't believe that he could actually still walk, because the bones were shattered, and it was just awful. But he was like, oh, I didn't know. It's painful. It's not that bad, but yeah, it's just been amazing. So that's helichrysum.
It's good for broken bones as well.
Yes, very good for bones and things. Of course, you go to the doctors and, get them to set it, of course, but then, you can always help yourself and, accelerate that healing. Yeah. So it actually helps with the numbing. So the other oil that helps numbing is melaleuca. So did you know that? So if it's still singing to you and it's still calling out, and you put melaleuca on, my kids love it because it's just, stops the pain. For them, it just stops the pain. Alrighty, so that's that. Now, Roman chamomile. Do you guys have that yet?
Yeah. Oh no, it's coming in my order this week. I haven't got my December order yet, but I'm getting it then.
Oh, good.
Yay.
So Desiree, do you have the Roman chamomile?
It's coming in my order.
Yeah. So, it's wonderful for bug bites. The other thing for it is, for Roman chamomile, is sleep. It's like a big sleeping pill. It's just so strong. You can just use it, smell it. Lots of good uses for Roman chamomile, but that's one of the good things that it can do. Now, doTERRA made it very simple for us. they put it in an ointment. So this is something that's in a familiar form for a lot of people. So you've got 5 essential oils. You know, lavender is good for skin. You all know that, right? But so it's got lavender in it, and it's got frankincense, helichrysum, of course, cedar wood. Cedar wood is good for any sort of brush-like, little skin abrasions, and melaleuca, numbing and killing germs. Okay, so this is your correct X. So good. It converted my sister-in-law. So she buys like 3 a month because she's got little monkeys that bump and bruise themselves. Yeah. So have you experienced the correct X?
I haven't used it.
Anybody? What about you, Desiree?
I have used it, and I've used it on the kids too.
Yeah, I thought so with the kids. That's awesome. So that's that. One more thing about lavender, very good for burns.
Like sunburns.
Yep.
Very good for sunburns.
Yep. So you don't have to touch it. You can spritz it on. You can drip it on in the kitchen. Put it straight on, and then you can put your finger under the water if you need to, because then the water drives the oils in. Okay. So put lavender on. So that's lavender. That's bumps, bruises, and cuts. Now the respiratory. Okay. Of course, you have breathe. How do you use the breathe?
Breathe
Yep.
I put them on your chest and the back of your earlobes.
And cup it over your nose and mouth and smell it.
And on the earlobes.
Yep. So on the reflex points, good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And the bottom of the feet, and then put socks on. Okay. That's
Okay.
Eucalyptus is another thing. If you don't have breathe, sometimes I like to add eucalyptus to it. Cardamom is another oil that's great for the respiratory system. And of course, On Guard. It's just to help, in case your respiratory concern leads to something more serious. Okay, so you need to help with the immunity. So then you put it in a diffuser, put it in before bed, and just smell that, and helps your nose clear up so you can have a better sleep. Okay.
I will say that with the On Guard, that's one of the only things that has been able to stop several of my family members, like that cough. You get that tickle in your throat and you just can't stop coughing, and it's horrible. And so that has been one of the only things that works to go ahead and stop that cough, is the On Guard, the cough drops.
So we have that here. This one. So you're all familiar with this. So especially during winter time, it's like stock up. Last year, my friend, he had the On Guard and then the soft gels, and she ran out, and so she had to make her own. And at the end of the week, she's made so many for all the family members. As soon as they get a little tickle, she's making it. She's like, "Oh, next year I'm going to stock up on this because it's so much easier." Yeah. So that's cardamom is good for the gut as well. But I like to put it in water. But I would rub cardamom on too. It's a really good oil. Yep. Do you guys have cardamom?
I haven't used that one.
Yeah. It's quite yummy. I'm glad they have it. I think they have it in the breathe drops now. Yep. So people in Australia and other countries, they call it Easy Air. So that's that. So that's good. Sometimes that's how you share the oils too. That's the first oil that I shared with Jennifer. So yeah, easy oil.
Sure.
A lot of people like it. It's an easy oil to share. Yep. So the next one is feeling overheated. So the non-compliant way is fever. Okay. But just frankincense, peppermint, and lavender. Rub it on, and rub it on your feet, on the back of your all over the back, and back of your neck, and do it a few times within that first hour or so, and it should be good. And you might want to repeat that, but it's very easy to do. Have you experienced that before? Have you tried? Anybody here?
Yeah, I normally put lavender on the kids when they have
Mm-hmm.
fever and put it up and down their spine.
Mm-hmm. That's good. During the summertime, sometimes we all get overheated. You can put the peppermint in water and in a little old the oil bottles. So you just save your old oil bottles, buy one of those spritzer caps, and then just use that as your personal spritzer. And it's amazing. The peppermint is going to be really good to help cool you down during the summer. Yeah, so that's easy. There, we're going on to number 8. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Nope.
All easy? So these are quite, easy, and they're just the basics so that people have the basic skills for their family. And once you get this down, it's a nice jumping point from here to getting other things. So healthy weight, even if you have a good weight, you want to keep maintaining it. So one of the best oils is Slim and Sassy. It's a blend with ginger, lemon, and peppermint, cinnamon, and grapefruit. Some people take it in a soft gel, like this, okay, or in a bottle. And you can actually rub it on as well. You can rub it on to problematic areas, and really focus that attention. If you put it on right after you bathe, you'll feel tingling. Yeah, so that's good. Has anybody tried Slim and Sassy?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of my friends said she didn't like the taste, but then when I explained that it had peppermint and ginger in it, then she realised why it tasted the way it did.
Yeah, and the cinnamon is hot too. Yeah, it's really good to help with hunger, and it's good for the sugar cravings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remembered going on a trip one time and I had no time to stop and eat, and the hunger was really bothering me. So I thought, okay, just get my water bottle, get a drop of Slim and Sassy, and then it kind of held me off for a while, for an hour or so, until I can stop and eat. So
Yeah.
it took away that discomfort. So it's really good.
Mm.
Yeah, but just daily, you can put a couple of drops of your favorite oil, even if it's just one of each, like grapefruit or lemon, and you can switch it up. So lately, because it's been a bit colder, I use a lot of ginger and lemon in my water, and that's very warming for the rest of the body. So it's a good thing for this season. So in Ohio, you guys are cold there. Yeah.
Freezing.
Yeah. So ginger's a good oil to have. Alrighty. So ready to move on? Yeah. So we have the mood management. Now it's so important because we all experience some sort of mood problems sometimes when we're upset or sad or angry. It's really good to resolve it immediately, as fast and soon as we can, so that it doesn't get stored and fester and just suppressed, because it comes back and haunts us later on. So I'll give you an example. We have the touch kits. It comes in a small bottle, but the touch one are diluted, so they're cheaper, and they work just as great, because you want to smell the oils. That's the idea. Alrighty, so you don't need it necessarily in its concentrated form, but this is a really inexpensive way of getting all of it. Now, different seasons, you need different oils. So sometimes if you need some motivation, there's Motivate. If you need some passion, there's Passion. I sometimes I'm hard on myself, and I expect more from me. And I think when I make a mistake or I fail to do something that I should have done, I beat myself up. So one time that happened, and it was right before we left, and I was like, I totally forgot, and then because we're busy, there's always a reason, but then I'm still hard on myself. So I went to the forgive oil, and it was so divine. It was just,
I love
it made me want to cry. And I thought, oh my goodness, that was what I needed. And you just smell it, you cup it over your nose and mouth and just inhale it and just repeat to yourself and assist the oils along and repeat to yourself, I forgive me for not being more, whatever it is, I forgive the universe. And, feel better and then move on. So that's what it's good for. We were moving, and we only had about 2 months or so to get our things together and move. Is when we decided, and then kind of it was just happening so fast. So during that time, the oil that helped me was peace. It was just peace. Relax, things will fall into place, things will be good. Kept me together. So that's why you have to have something just like a toolbox to kind of, in case, because you can't say, okay, I feel really blah right now, and I don't have my toolbox. It's like, I'll order it. Takes a week or two. By that time it's past. So it's good to have it on hand, and I teach my children to use it too. So whatever their problem is, sometimes just go to the right oils and smell it and just release and resolve it. Okay, good, huh? So have you had any experience where you've used the oils just to help with your emotions?
Yep, all the time.
All the time?
Yeah, I guess one of the major ones, I suppose more related to sleep, was I used to have I'd suffer a bit of anxiety about things that, might have happened, and I'd worry about why this happened to me, and, because I'm probably over-catastrophized and oversensitive about things. So I use vetiver a lot because when I go to sleep, it allows me to have a deep sleep without experiencing anxiety. But I like bergamot, that gives me a lift, and I really enjoy the forgive. And ginger, for some reason, gives me a nice little buzz.
Empowering. That's empowering.
Smelling it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I tell people, check your happy meter. If your tank is not quite so full, find an oil that helps you be happy and smell it until your happy meter, your tank is full and you're ready to go, because then you have something to give. If you're empty, running on empty, you've got nothing to give, and then you'll just be drained. Okay, so that's really good. If you've got some negative people around you when you go to work, right, you can get some oils on that kind of help you kind of repel them. So a lot of negative people that I found, they don't like essential oils.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's not weird.
Yeah, so all good for me, because then they don't come and bother me.
Except if there are other teachers and they get so put off by the fact that you've offered them something helpful and they don't want you in their class anymore. So that happened to me.
That's too bad.
People who suffer migraines and things, you just think they'd be so grateful to be offered something that might help them. Anyway.
Well, good on you for trying.
Yeah, I'll keep trying.
A girlfriend of mine in Australia, she started off diffusing lemongrass at her desk, and people started being nicer to her because lemongrass diffuses negativity.
Beautiful. It's one of my favorites, actually.
So
yeah, I wear that when I go shopping because I don't really like shopping centres and supermarkets very much. So if I wear the lemongrass, people say, "Oh, I've even had shop assistants say, "Oh gosh, you smell nice. What's that?"
Okay, good. So the other oils we have is the mood management oils. Those are the original 4. So serenity, balance, Citrus Bliss, and
Elevation.
Elevation. So those are the four that doTERRA originally started with, and they go right in hand with these oils. So they don't necessarily replace them. They just work with other different emotions. Balance, I think somebody mentioned balance. Was it Jennifer? Yeah.
I didn't mention it, but it is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Christy, do you know balance?
I don't. My favorite is Citrus Bliss.
Ah, good. That was my first favorite, and then I discovered balance.
I'll have to get that one.
It was happy. It was happy oil, right? Citrus Bliss. But balance is take one thing at a time, Jay. Oil, because I'm like, but it makes me happy, and I'm still going. And this one says take one thing at a time. So on your forehead, the back of your neck, smell it. So they're in your big 15 ml bottles. At night time, it says stop thinking, monkey brain, and go to sleep. Because that monkey brain just chatter, and you don't just conk out. You're still like la 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 la. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what balance does. Serenity. So serenity comes in a soft gel now, and it's great for sleep. Really good, very important. People who want to maintain healthy weight, you need the good sleep too. But it's for everything. People that have a tendency to be sad, depressed in some ways. If you get good sleep, your body's able to produce all the happy chemicals, and you find that you'll be happier. All right. And bergamot and cassia are those oils that help you feel good about yourself. Yeah. Yep. Have you guys had any experience with those oils?
I've been diffusing bergamot lately, and it smells so good. It's like a flower in the house, especially during the winter. It's nice to be able to bring that inside, and it's so silky smooth too to just apply it on your wrist.
Yeah, I was hoping that you would say that, because this afternoon when you described it as silky smooth, I can see that. I can feel that. It's just a strong oil. Don't you feel that, honey? Silky smooth.
That's small flowers.
It does. So I had it in my necklace
It's not.
forever.
It's like an orange.
So before you do a presentation, before you do something that's kind of scary and out of your comfort zone, bergamot, okay, or cassia, whichever. Ben likes cassia. I like bergamot. So yeah, it's just kind of, it helps pep talk you into things. Yeah. All right. The last thing is energy and stamina. So who here is on the Lifelong Vitality Pack? Yay!
I'm addicted.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Whenever I run out, I get really tired.
Oh yes, yep.
And then, I have to wait for them to arrive. So I try not to let that happen, but it happened recently, and I thought I was making it up, but I was absolutely determined that, that made a big difference as soon as I started back on them.
Yeah.
I felt better again.
So we just wrote a little blog on making sure you have the right nutrients, and you can see when we don't have all the nutrients we need, we have all of these symptoms, but they're just nutritional deficiency symptoms. Irritability, you start to be squeaky again, and you're not so happy. Your digestive system's not too hot. So lots of things, but that's just because our nutrition it's not there. You find that this will help you with your skin and nails. Do you find that your nails are harder? Your hair is more thick and silky. Yep. Sometimes people say pregnant and they say, "Oh, I don't know if I feel anything." I suggest that they cleanse first, because sometimes things are crusted over and their body's not able to absorb. So, that was my dad. So my mum was taking it, my dad was taking it, and both of them were taking it at the same time. And here's my mum like, energy, energy, energy. And Dad's like, I'm so jealous. How come you've got more energy? And I'm like, Dad, you might need to do a cleanse first. so your body can absorb it. And afterwards, you know, he thought it was the GX assist. He's like, just keep giving me that pill. And I'm like, no, that you're done with those oils. This is what's making you have the energy now. So, you know, it made a huge difference. Yeah. So that's the Lifelong Vitality Pack. It's got 9 essential oils in them. And the omega oils are nano size, so they're very small and absorbable. And the other one we have for energy is the Mito Max. Are you guys familiar with that?
Yeah, I'm taking that one too.
Okay, good. So it helps with the mitochondria, get you more energy. Yeah. So if you are tired by 2, you need this. You know, I found like after the 6 months of this, my back started feeling great. I was able to run and jump. And then I found that even in the evening, I was still, you know, got a lot of stamina. One evening I remembered I had to just jump on the treadmill because I had to burn off the energy. And everyone else is ready to go to bed. I'm like, no, I still like bouncing off the wall. I have to run and go for a run. So it's kind of nice to be, it's just day and night, because I was done at 2 p.m. Everyone go to bed or something because I'm done, clock off. But, you know, it's so nice to have energy and think clearly. So that's that. So that's like the basics for the family. Any questions, comments? No? Okay, that's awesome then.
Neck tension. I pulled the muscle in my neck when I was carrying a really heavy bag. I put it on my shoulder when I went to Queensland last week, and it pulled, and the deep blue rub just fixed it up after a couple of days.
Oh, awesome.
I mean, it was feeling there, but it's just made such a difference.
Yeah, helichrysum in it probably. You did a really good job.
And wintergreen, yeah, the wintergreen.
Yeah, the tree oil. But don't you feel so good that you have all these tools that you can help yourself now? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I had that anxiety way back before I started doTERRA. Like, I feel so dumb. I don't know what to do for my child. And what is this? You know, she's uncomfortable. What do I do? Should we take her to the ER? Should I take her to the doctor? Wait till morning? I don't know. So frustrating. There's nothing really I can do, you know, to give her a pill or give her some syrup or some sort of, you know, and I'm thinking, am I doing it right? I'm going to overdose the kid. It was so stressful. But now, you know, if I'm in doubt, oh, here's some let's try that. You know, it looks like you've got this thing here. Maybe we can try that. And, you know, it's been so easy. And they do it themselves now that they're older. So it's quite liberating. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think we'll end tonight here, and we'll share this video with people. Thank you so much for attending.
Jade.
So you guys have a good night. Stay warm and stay cool in Australia.
Cool today. It's raining. Okay. Bye. Thanks very much.
Bye. Thank you.